We are working on it.
All right, so no one heard any of that. Is there audio now? Let us know. Actually, we have to wait until I come back in the lag.
Oh yeah, that's really distracting looking at the lag, by the way.
I wonder if I can... I don't know if you can pop out the chat. Hey, there we go.
Oh, cool.
All right, take two. Welcome to Chat and Build, episode 2. I'm David. Guest.
My name's Mick Bouschor.
Yes.
Thanks for having me on the show, David.
Yeah, you got it. Mick and I have worked together a long time. You no longer live in the state of New York, which is makes me sad because I miss you.
I miss you too, man.
But we used to work together on many things.
Yes.
What are some of those things?
Been on many adventures together.
Like a million people in the New York animation scene, we both worked on Wonder Pets.
Yes.
And I think that's how we know each other.
Yeah. That's where it all started.
Were you an intern?
Yeah, I started as an intern because I was 1 year behind you in college.
Correct.
So I started as an intern, and then I was working on like little notes and fixes on Wonder Pets.
Yeah.
And that's how I met you. I think I was sat next to you.
I'm so sorry.
When I first came on board, and I noticed all your cool toys at your workstation.
That's true. Believe it or not, I had toys on my desk at a office that I worked at.
I think that's what broke the ice. I was like, hey, I like your cool toys. And I probably touched them without asking. And
yes. So Mick is a person who, anytime we've worked together at any location, he will invariably pose the toys that are on shelves, or like when we worked at... so we also worked at Paganomation together.
Yeah.
At what historically I refer to as Paganomation 2, like the second era. And that's like 2000... late 2010 to 2014 is like that era, and you're kind of like in the middle of that.
Mm-hmm. So I would come over and pose all of his action figures.
Or like Pagano puppets on a shelf, and then I would notice it like 3 days later and be like, oh right, Mick was here.
Why do all my toys look slightly cooler than they were before?
That is true. I have always been enamored with your posing ability, and I've always strove to get that kind of like strong silhouette across in the animation that we do here.
Thank you. It comes from reading lots of superhero comics, I think.
Yes, we should say you're also a comics illustrator, and a comics fan.
Yeah, I love comics. I couldn't choose whether, like when it came time to do art school, I had a hard time choosing between cartooning and animation. I went to SVA, School of Visual Arts, and I chose animation because I just felt like it was more bang for my buck. You know, like I'm not just learning to draw, I'm also learning how to make movies.
A series of skills that all kind of... Well, I mean, so many of the creative arts kind of like overlap anyway, so...
True. But I love comics. I love doing storyboards, character designs...
And in terms of Paganomation work, what did you work? What was your first thing? This is the thing. I always forget what people worked on because we've done 3 or 4 dozen, 5 dozen videos here over the past decade, and my knowledge of them is always, we have to get this done, and not like the sort of milestone of like, oh, what was your first video? So what was your first?
Yeah,
what was the first thing we worked on together?
First video was when you were still back at your parents' house.
Toy Story.
It was Toy Story. Toy Story 3.
Yes.
We animated Lotso.
Yes. I thought there was going to be more to that sentence, and then I remember the character's name.
That's the villain.
Yes, that my parents' house, which I would refer to as Paganomation 1, which is where like I made little guys there because I was a teenager. Or no, I guess at that point I wasn't. I was in my early 20s, but yeah.
Yeah. But that was in the budding days of Paganomation.
That's right.
I've been through it all, man. Paganomation 1.0, 2.0, 3.0.
See, if you had asked me, I would not have said the Toy Story was the first thing, and this is always something that I feel bad about.
Well, I really came on board for Red Brick. That was like the big one. I was on for the whole
That's what I would have said, yeah. And if you look at the Red Brick behind the scenes video in our channel, you'll see a whole bunch of Mick.
Mm-hmm. Me looking a lot younger.
Yeah, well... Also me.
Less hairy.
So we've gotten a bunch of the chat out of the way. What are we building today on this program?
We've got this awesome Ant-Man and Wasp set, and we're really excited because this movie's coming out tonight.
That's right. Yeah, we felt like there was no more appropriate thing to build given the release of this movie, your love of comics,
my love of Ant-Man, actually.
My ability to go to the Lego store with reckless abandon. We thought there was no better or more appropriate thing to build, so this is what we'll be building.
Funny thing, Ant-Man is actually one of my favorite Avengers. I just think his powers are really cool, and I think Wasp is cool too. She's got a great design. What is it called though? The set.
I believe the set is called Quantum Realm Explorers.
Cool.
Quantum Realm Explorers.
Or if you speak French, Les Explorateurs de l'Univers Quantique. I'm sorry, I just butchered the French language.
I was gonna.
Any of you speak French? Out
Yeah. I'm just gonna move on from that because why not?
I'm so sorry. Keep that there.
Looks like it's blocking. All right. I also, because I'm prepared for everything.
Yes, your baking sheets.
Yep.
I saw that in your last video. Great idea.
I only have good ideas. That's not true. Oh, and they're numbered. Could we potentially each build one of these bags?
Possibly.
If I just roll over here. I'm going to pull up the instructions on my iPad.
Okay. Good plan. Oh, sweet. I got Wasp in my bag.
Do I have anybody? Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. You got Scott Lang and Ghost.
So now...
Oh, wait. Oh, I have Wasp and Ghost. Sweet.
Are you familiar with Ant-Man in a comic sense? Like, what can you...
Yeah, somewhat.
Expound upon him as a character.
Well, the most famous iteration of Ant-Man is Hank Pym.
That's the one I'm familiar with.
Yeah, he's by far the longest running Ant-Man in comics, I think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, YouTubers. But, yeah, he's the original Ant-Man. And he had kind of a checkered past in the comics. Like, he had a little history of domestic abuse, which was not cool.
Yes, I'm familiar with that, and I agree.
Mental illness as well. But lately in comics, Hank Pym has been pretty stable. And now I think Scott Lang is the current Ant-Man.
And Hank Pym, for those keeping score at home, is the character played by Michael Douglas. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting choice. At first I was really disappointed that Hank Pym wasn't going to be Ant-Man, but I thought they handled it really well.
Well, I like the idea that it kind of implies a larger universe. Like, you can imagine like some sort of Michael Douglas adventure that we never got to see.
Yeah, we might see it in this new movie.
That, ostensibly, yeah. Yeah, well, I guess we should say we haven't seen this new movie.
Yeah, not yet. I'm pretty psyched about Michelle Pfeiffer being the first Wasp.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I grew up with Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer is Catwoman.
I just read a really interesting article that I'll have to link to about the history of what was once Batman 2 and then became Batman Returns, like how that kind of developed, and it was a fascinating read.
What were some highlights of that?
Well, the thing I've always said about Batman Returns is that Batman 89 feels like Tim Burton making a Batman movie, and then Batman Returns feels like Batman in a Tim Burton movie.
Totally.
And that's according to this article, that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
By design.
That's pretty accurate.
Now, I know one of the things about this set that people have almost universally complained about is the helmets. Because I guess this helmet is not quite the same as the helmet from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That is the same helmet, though, from the Ant-Man in those little Avengers shorts. I think they're like CG animated. And then they're on YouTube.
The Wasp helmet is just a reprint or a printed version of an Iron Man helmet that is not the most accurate. So folks are not too thrilled about that.
Am I doing these little energy things right?
What does the instructions say?
Oh, good good question.
While that happens, I'm going to look at the chat.
Do you have a booklet over there?
I have a digital booklet.
Okay.
People say no sound. Yep. Yeah, eventually we'll get to a point where live stream is a thing that we can do without thinking about it, but this is not that day. So
we're getting there.
Yeah.
Okay, I did do the energy things right.
Good set. The helmets
Pretty cool.
look off. Yep. Oh, good. Did they like shoot out or something?
It looks like they're like trailing behind her.
I think they.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm gonna test this, but it might. You might need to catch this.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. It does. It does like launch
Cool.
onto the floor. Sorry. This is a sweet minifigure. I like the sort of robot body printing.
Mm. She also has a human face that you can rotate.
You have to make that sound or it doesn't work, like Bob Ross.
Make a happy little tree.
Alright, so wait. You're booklet 2 and I'm booklet 1. Is that what we decided
Wait,
here?
isn't there just one booklet that came with it?
I misspoke, you're correct.
Bag.
I'm bag 1, you're bag 2.
Bag 2, yeah.
There is just one booklet, yes.
Okay.
Alright, what else do I usually do on this program? Talked about how we know each other, we talked about working together.
Mm-hmm.
Were you a Lego fan growing up? Because I know, I think I actually have a box of Lego bricks from the 1990s that you gave me, and I think it's right there in that plastic bin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they were all like pretty basic.
Yeah, it was
blocks, right?
it's a very bizarre basic kit that had like some printed slopes and then like big chunky tires and like like tank treads. Is that correct? Unless that was from someone else.
No, I think mine was just blocks.
Okay, maybe I mixed two people's together.
Bricks. Why do I keep saying blocks? My Lego lingo.
Bricks, blocks. I've also heard people say Lego stones because I guess that's something about the translation from Danish and German and something in there. I don't know.
Oh, stones. Like building stones.
What's that voice?
I don't know why I said stones like that.
So Ant-Man has...
But yeah, my Lego history, I definitely loved Lego growing up. Wasn't quite as into it as you, probably.
I feel like this is going to be a recurring thing where every single person says that.
But I really liked, when I grew up, it was like, when I was into Lego, it was like the mid-90s, 95, 96.
Okay,
and
so like Explorians era.
I really loved the Pirates versus Islanders.
Oh yeah.
Is that what it's called? I don't remember.
I think Pirates and Islanders. I don't know if it was. I don't know the verses. It wasn't like a legal case.
Okay. I'm not gonna get sued after this. Okay, good. No, I really like those tribal minifigs with the cool helmets and face paint and the spears. I always made the tribal guys win because they just were cooler than the pirates.
Sure.
And I had some medieval knights. What was that called?
Like the a castle is the sort of overarching name for it, but
yeah, with like the skeleton and the wizard and the knights with the cool horses with the drapey
so
thing on them.
Dragon Masters era probably. The skeleton was like a late edition. That was like 96 or 7.
I definitely had some skeletons. I had some dragons.
Were they in the closet?
I don't understand that.
Skeletons in the closet. I'm just saying
I do get that. Okay,
yeah.
I get it now.
Dragons, yeah. Did you have the wizard? The wizard was always a favorite.
Yeah,
of mine.
definitely had the wizard, and I had some
Magisto, I believe.
Okay, I had some Wild West sets too. This one, it was like a prison.
Okay, so I have a very clear idea of the era of Lego that you were involved in.
And you stick a little dynamite in the side of it, and it blows off the front of the building. That was cool. So I had those sets for a very long time. And to my mom's dismay, all of my Lego sets were taking up so much space.
Sure,
she was like,
the common
get
lament.
these out of here, yeah. And I think I gave you a bunch of those leftover Legos.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that,
Yes.
or a corollary, I guess?
Yes.
Did your mom get you any of those Lego sets?
She got me all of them.
Okay, so really, like
she
did
only one
this
to blame.
I mean, I don't want
her. That's very true.
Sorry to sidetrack you for a second. Is there a sticker sheet somewhere?
Sticker sheet.
Could be in the book. Maybe it's in the box.
Oh, I got it inside the booklet. All right, I better get with the program here. Oh, there's a trophy. I bet that's going to come into play in the movie.
I was just going to say, yeah. So there's a trophy, and there's this little like
probably
soda can
Pym particles.
I was going to say that having no knowledge of this film. I'm assuming this will all make perfect sense once we see it. I know that's something that's come up on some of the stuff we worked on together, where it's like, and I remember this with Toy Story. That movie hadn't come out yet when we were working on that film, so to figure out like what Lotso's character was, or I remember it was a big struggle to figure out. There's that one episode we did. I don't know if you worked on this one, but the one in like the backyard with like the army guys.
Yeah, I did work on
and
that
like
one towards the end.
They wanted it to look accurate to the movie, but they had no images of what the background from the movie looked like yet, because everything was under like Pixar embargo. So we were just like going off of like one like tiny like poster image that we had, and then like maybe one other image, and like, I hope this is correct because I have to squint to look at it.
It came out pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, it's arguably not the focus of that short by any means, but...
Yeah, so I worked on the Lego Toy Story and then Red Brick.
Yes.
It was like Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Wars, Harry Potter, and
Alien Conquest.
Alien Conquest.
It's a very memorable Lego space line.
Yeah. And then Lego Superheroes.
Yes.
After that.
As with the last Chat and Bill guest, Matt, I was concerned that if I did a superheroes project and did not ask you to work on it, that you wouldn't be my friend anymore.
Oh, I would have been very offended.
Yeah, no, I figured so. So this is all I'm ever concerned about is having people like me.
And and when you asked what kind of set we should do today, I'm like,
let me think.
Or Star Wars would be a close second. All right, the booklet is not set up like separating bag 1 versus bag 2. So
really?
I'm just going to go ahead and... I don't think so. Oh, wait. Maybe.
Hang on, I'm scrolling.
Guys, I know there's some really big Lego fans out there. Please don't judge me.
Page 32.
Okay.
I got you, buddy. While you flip pages, I'll read some comments.
I've been out of the loop for a little while.
That's right. This is good practice. Nice shirt, David. I love Pac-Man as well. Let's see what else.
Great shirt. I should have worn some kind of geeky.
Build a robot pirate.
No.
No, that's not what we're doing. Maybe someday. If we ever get to another Lego movie that has what is his name?
Jack Sparrow?
Metalbeard. No. The actual Lego movie.
Oh, Metalbeard.
As voiced by Nick Offerman.
Awesome. Love Nick Offerman.
What was it like to work on Max stories? Did you work on any of the Max episodes? I don't think you did.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, no, I think you... So let's see. Max, we did 5 episodes before Toy Story, and then I don't think we did any more Max until after you had left already. I think the first thing we did after Superheroes was Max Galaxy Squad, and so you would have been gone already. So you missed Max.
Yeah, I missed Max. I do enjoy Max though. All right, so bag 2 is going to be building on top of what you're building right now.
Building on top of my building?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I've scrolled ahead too far to find the bag 2 start, and now I have to get back to where I once belonged. Okay.
These are going to be important.
Oh, thanks.
At some point. I've also partook in a lot of sorting parties.
Oh yes, we used to do a lot of sorting parties. Well, not a lot, but like at least a few, because we finish something like a Red Brick project and just have bins and bins of stuff left over to disassemble and put back into respective bins. I feel like the era that you worked with me is kind of when this sort of large-scale sorting that I'm gesturing towards, but you can't see, it's in another part of this room, that's when that sort of started, because before that it was very haphazard, let's say.
Oh yeah, well, your sorting system has vastly improved.
It's an ongoing thing.
It kind of has to improve and evolve as you go.
Sure, yeah, because we have like different parts, or the ways that we kind of work and structure who does building and who does animation, and where that overlaps in terms of both people and schedule. That's always changing. thoughts on Lego Dimensions? The game, I'm assuming. Have you played Lego Dimensions?
I have not.
So Lego Dimensions is a game. It's got like basically what amounts to amiibo-like characters, like those Nintendo little statues, but instead of statues, they're minifigures.
Oh, cool.
And then there's like a ton of. It's like basically crossover license the game.
Oh, okay.
So you can
like
play as like the Simpsons.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kind of, yeah, actually, except not limited to Disney.
Cool.
We did a bunch of promo videos, little animations for Lego Dimensions. So it had characters like B.A. Baracus and
Nice.
Marceline the Vampire Queen and just a variety. The goal of the videos that we did was to introduce old characters, to have newer characters introduce old characters, because you have like Michael Knight from Knight Rider, and it's like a 10-year-old is not going to know who that is unless they watched all of Knight Rider on some streaming service.
But we do.
Yeah. So
we were born in 1985.
So in that
84?
I'm 85.
Oh, 85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the conceit was that, let's have Sonic the Hedgehog introduce Michael Knight, and that's like a way to explain to kids who these characters in this game are.
Very clever.
That your mid-30s parents will be buying.
Very, very clever marketing scheme.
Yeah, those are fun. I was sad to see them end.
I really
sad I
loved,
started dropping pieces.
I really loved the Lego Avengers? Wait, no, it was Lego Marvel Universe.
Oh, the game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
it
that's
came
a cool
out
game.
years ago, but I was really into that. Yeah, it had everything. It had like Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man.
Yeah, it wasn't like... It didn't have the same limitations of which movie studios own which of these characters' rights.
Yeah, so. I like that.
So when did you become... Were you a comics fan your entire life, or was there like a turning point? Or
Pretty much. I think what got me into them was... So my brother is 4 years older than me.
Okay.
And he had those Secret Wars toys from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
He had like Wolverine with the clip-on claws.
Yep.
And like Magneto, Doc Ock, Doctor Doom. And I didn't know who they were. I just thought the toys were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got my hands on some Jim Lee X-Men comics in the early 90s. And I was pretty hooked after that. And then the cartoon came out shortly after that.
Sure.
And it was like, that's just all over. Just done. I was hooked.
One of the millions of people who has the Jim Lee X-Men #1 from like 1993. It's like one of the most pervasive comics ever.
One of the most valuable comics too.
Is that true?
If it's in perfect condition. Well,
it's not perfect condition.
Maybe not most valuable ever, but it is pretty freaking
MVC,
valuable.
Most valuable comics. That's not a thing.
It's not a thing. He just made that up.
I'm gonna look at the comments now. Are you excited for Lego Movie 2? Have you seen the trailer for that?
No.
Oh, well, we should watch it later then.
Is Chris Pratt in it though?
Yes.
I'll see it if he's in it. He's great.
Yes, as Emmett Brakowski, I believe is his character's name.
Yeah, I'll see it if him and Elizabeth Banks are in it.
Yep. As far as I know, they're both returning.
I do have yet to see Lego Batman though.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that before.
There's no excuse for me not seeing that yet.
It really is how I would describe, and how I have described the Lego Batman movie, is just like a love letter to Batman. So from that perspective, I think you will.
Oh wait, did I see Lego Batman? I think I did see it.
Only you can answer this question.
No, I did. I totally saw it. I just came back to my memory just now. And like that's where Rosario Dawson is Batgirl, and okay, totally saw it.
So it was a memorable experience, is what you're saying. It's okay. I can't really.
I think I might have fallen asleep.
I can't fault you because I can't remember things we've worked on together, stuff like that. So
it's okay. This is why I am your friend,
and also this
I'm
is
in your life.
If
remind you,
Chat and Build is anything, it's a therapy session for both of us to
absolutely
work through our repressed memories, Lego skeletons in the closet, that kind of a thing.
And recalling fond memories of our friendship.
For those of you just joining us, we have a few questions about what we're building this time. We are building the number 76109 Quantum Realm Explorers, the I think first and only Ant-Man and the Wasp set. I guess probably either pending a No, we're in summer. It can't be a summer release.
Should I read the title in French again?
Sure.
No, I'm not.
Do you know any other languages that you could?
I know Spanish. Oh, there's Spanish right here. Exploradores del Reino Cuántico.
Perfect.
Much better than my French pronunciation. It'd be cool if they made that Ant-Man like a set based on the ending train set battle and at the end of the first Ant-Man movie.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah.
That would be cool.
Kind of Wallace and Gromity.
Yeah, a little bit.
They did make a Ant-Man, or I should say they made a Giant Man figure from the Civil War line, and that was pretty cool because it was like a minifigure kind of built out of pieces that... I don't know if there's ever been anything done like that before that point.
So he wasn't one of those big figures with the joints?
No, it was like built out of parts in a interesting way. I think they did it for another character in one of the Wonder Woman sets maybe, but...
Okay. Was it Giganta or something?
No, it was someone in the movie.
Oh, Ares?
Maybe? Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Giganta was not in that. But I'm really excited for Kristen Wiig to play Cheetah in Wonder Woman 2.
Now, I don't know anything about Cheetah. Tell me.
Okay.
Get me on board.
My knowledge is limited, but
okay.
She was...
We're all only human, Nick.
She's like a...
Or dancer.
Oh, God. These YouTubers are going to skewer me, but
that's fine. We're not here to be 100% correct. We're here to conversate and chat, you might even say.
Okay, chat.
But also...
And build.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Cheetah, she has a lot of different origin stories depending on where you're getting on board. But she was like an archaeologist or a scientist or something like that.
Huh.
And she like discovered some mystical power and got transformed into Cheetah. And she has a huge hardcore grudge against Wonder Woman. But I don't know why.
Okay. That was going to be one of my next questions. And you actually brought up
Dr. Minerva, that's her name.
I thought you were going to say Dr. Manure. It's like, that's an odd superpower.
Manure.
You brought up something that reminds me of kind of why I never got into comics as a kid. Or not into comics as much as some of my other friends were. And it's because of like that...
The multiple origins.
Like so many resets and like...
Yeah.
A million
retcons.
A million things that you have to like go and find like... See issue 235, editor. And I'm like, I can't find that. It's the 1990s and there's no internet, so I don't know who this is or why I should care.
That's a big issue for a lot of people. Is
that a comics pun?
Intimidating. Kind of. Yeah.
Is it a giant-sized issue?
Unintentional.
Giant-sized man thing?
Thank God.
But yeah, so no, as a kid, I was never like... I would always come into the story kind of in the middle, and sometimes it works, and like you can kind of get like a cool little thing. But I was always much more of a trade paperback child than a single issue comic person. Like I never subscribed to comics, like get them in the mail like some of my friends did.
I never did that either. I just kind of got whatever random ones I could get my hands on. Like I got a lot of hand-me-downs from my older brother, and then I would just go to comic stores randomly and grab what I thought looked cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of trade paperbacks. It's kind of like buying in bulk, and you get a whole storyline collected.
That's the thing that really like appealed to me. It was like, oh, okay, I can, and especially with modern comics now too, because I feel like the amount of story you get in an issue has been like condensed even further. Kind of like how there's like more commercials in a half hour of television. So like to have only a single issue, I would just be like, oh, okay,
yeah, and it's
cool.
over.
I read these 20 pages maybe.
It's over so quickly.
Yeah.
But I like to get immersed in it.
Same.
I think what really I've always loved comics, but what really got me back into them was when I was in college when Hush came out. The Batman storyline, Hush. And it was...
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, so good. It was two collections, Volume 1, Volume 2. One of my roommates had it in college.
Clever naming convention.
Yeah. And it was so good. It was all illustrated by Jim Lee, who
Sensing a theme?
Yeah. I already had a lot of love for Jim Lee, and it just featured almost every Batman villain at some point. And,
interesting.
Hush is the shadowy, bandaged figure from Bruce Wayne's past. who seems to know everything about him.
Oh, that sounds vaguely familiar.
And he masterminds this whole plot of getting all of Batman's villains together to just take him out psychologically and physically.
So it's like the 1960s Batman film, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Does anyone get dehydrated and turned into multicolored sand in this comic series?
Oh, I wish.
And that's really revealing where my...
Is that where he's running with the bomb away from...
Some days he just can't get rid of a bomb.
And he has the shark repellent.
He does, the shark repellent bat spray, yeah. That's where my Batman love comes from, is the old reruns of that show from when I was a kid, which kind of led directly into... Sorry, I got distracted by New York sounds. Kind of led into my love of the Batman movies from the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, I remember... I didn't care it was campy at the time.
Oh, no, same.
I would watch Batman. I just loved how colorful it was and how weird all the characters were. I was hooked.
Some of the line deliveries on that show are so, like, bananas. But in, like, a wonderful way.
I had a big crush on Batgirl, too.
Understandable.
Ron Craig.
What else is going on in chats?
Yeah.
When is the new Brick film? I don't know what that means. When is Little Guys in Space coming out? In like 54 days? August 31st.
It's exciting.
Be here. What was your favorite animation you did in 2011? Well, we only did a few. You were here.
Was that Toy Story or Red Brick?
That was Red Brick.
Which was your favorite of those four?
Favorite of those four. I think Harry Potter. I think that one had the most interesting builds, and I liked animating the Quidditch kind of chase scene.
Oh yeah, that was great.
I was disappointed that we used to have. There's a bit at the end where Harry Potter kind of just comes to a landing, and there's like a big empty space in the background, and that's because originally they had storyboarded confetti in the background, whoever boarded this at Lego. And then once we animated the confetti, they were like, no, we don't like it. And I was like, yeah, but there's like this big open space where the confetti used to be. So I can't help but think about stuff that got cut when I look at old animations.
Yeah, that's understandable. How did you animate Lego confetti?
Well, actually, it ended up working really well because we took the Lego confetti. What we did was we stuck like a 1x1... I don't have one, so I'll use this 2x2. We stuck like a 1x1 tile on a turntable and just animated it like rotating 180 or 360 degrees. And then, so I think it was a white tile, and then we colored it in After Effects. But what we ended up doing was, because it was a white tile, we took the confetti that got cut and we used it to make the Death Star explosion kind of like bits.
Oh, the little twinkles. Yeah.
So we animated the Death Star like ring explosion, and then we put the confetti behind it so that it looked like Twinkle Bits is a good, both a good band name and a good name for.
That'll be our band name.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that Death Star exploding ring thing.
Yeah. We shot it top down on the floor.
That was intense.
Yeah, came out great though.
I remember being under the really hot lights and sweating a lot.
Yeah, no, we've since upgraded to lights that are not as hot, and I will not go back.
I think my favorite of those four was Star Wars, probably, because I loved animating the lightsabers.
Oh yeah,
that was really fun.
You loved animating them physically or digitally?
Digitally, yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, we did physical, but then I rotoscoped the lightsaber blades over them.
And actually, the one thing that still gets used that you did is the hinge plate bird. Do you remember animating that for the Pirates of the Caribbean? I think it was.
Yeah.
There's like a bird in the background. It's like a, I don't know how you would describe it. It's a 2x2 plate when closed and like a 1x4 when open. And you animated this bird, and I throw it in the background of everything now.
Yes.
Just because it's a nice little detail to add some more life to a scene.
That's what I used to do when I was a kid. If I drew like a landscape, I put a little V bird in the back, a little V-shaped bird.
Just a happy little bird.
Yeah.
It's a terrible Bob Ross.
Put a bird in it.
Yeah, nice. I wonder if I could do a Bob Ross impression. Just a lot.
He's gotta talk.
It's a lot of whispering.
Really soft.
There.
A little bit of a southern accent.
I do love that he says "there" so often. Like he's just like, "There, we did it."
Yeah, that's pretty good. Your Bob Ross voice is pretty good.
I thought you were just gonna say you're Bob Ross now.
Oh, yeah, you're Bob Ross now.
Try to live up to it. Oh, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing that thing again where I think I'm smarter than the building instructions, and then I realize that I'm not.
That used to always get me in trouble.
Oh, really? Oh, good. So it's not just me.
I'd be like, oh, I got this. Like, I know what it is. And
Did it?
It's like, no,
did not do it.
I don't know what it is. So
John Voight did not kill it.
he is literally terrible.
So I will say that I feel like you and I reference a million things just in general conversation, just like the most obscure stuff that we've watched or listened to or shows that we've been to. But because I haven't seen you in a couple years, now it's just gonna like come back without any
it's
context.
All coming out.
Yeah,
like the floodgates are open.
You know, seeing you sure brings back a few things.
How you doing, Chewbacca?
Nice.
You said it, Chewie. How did you feel about Solo movie? Solo, a Star Wars story.
A Star Wars story? I actually had a great time watching that movie.
Okay.
Like I had zero. I've heard this said by a bunch of people, but I had zero expectations for that movie, and I was just like, "Oh, this is kind of fun." Like,
I fell asleep.
I'm sensing another theme.
I fell asleep by the time that they were in the desert meeting those desert people.
Okay.
I wasn't really invested a whole lot. The one thing that stuck out to me as really dumb was when, like, the movie felt it necessary to explain why Han Solo calls Chewbacca Chewie. Like, the origin of his nickname Chewie. I thought that was really silly.
Yeah, I mean...
And unnecessary. It's like, you're David. I don't have to... If we made a movie of our friendship...
we have to not explain why my name is David?
No, we wouldn't need a scene of explaining why I call you Dave sometimes.
Sure.
Right? I don't know. That's just one nitpicky thing.
I feel like that's the thing that you're going to run into with any movie like that, where it kind of goes back and explores like a pre-existing... Like even the Star Wars prequels are like that, right? Where it's like, why do we need to know that Anakin built C-3PO?
Good point.
I saw a really amusing tweet recently. I forget who it was from, but I'll link it later. It was basically someone saying, talking about The Last Jedi, saying, can you imagine how upset Kylo Ren would be if he had blown up a ship that had a custom-built protocol droid, custom-built by Anakin Skywalker on it?
He would be.
I found that very amusing.
Like the biggest
Darth Vader
fanboy
ever.
Yeah. I guess he wasn't thinking about that. He'd probably be more upset about that than blowing up his mother. Probably.
Well,
no, but he would have been upset because he chose not to pull the trigger.
That's true. Let's see what else. A couple questions. Thoughts on Bionicle? Any thoughts on Bionicle?
I never built Bionicle. It wasn't. Yeah. You probably have more thoughts on Bionicle than me.
I like some of those kits. I had the very, very early Bionicle sets. In fact, I remember when I was at the 2001 Lego Movie Awards, which was a thing when Lego Studios came out. And
the LMAs?
If you're the very same. If you're familiar with the film Haunted I made a million years ago.
I've never seen that. I want to see that.
I can show it to you.
Okay.
I remember very distinctly, I think one of the things, it might have been part of a prize pack, or it might have been like a free promo thing, or I might have just coincidentally just bought it recently, but one of the things I remember building while hanging out at that event was the red Bionicle, Tahu probably.
And those are the posable kind of.
Yeah, you would have enjoyed the posability. They started out not that posable, and they got more posable as time went on. I've seen all the Bionicle films. They don't really stick with me, but I was not the age that they were targeted for, so I don't remember them being like bad or anything. I have no memory of them, which is another theme.
Do you have any Bionicle sets here?
I got this.
You're in full on little.
So here's this is the thing that happened. Someone donated a bunch of Lego stuff to us, and one of the things that was included with that donation was this Borok figure, I believe. And so I just had it. Yeah, it kind of does this neat thing.
That is very cool.
So I just had it kind of like, I would hide it around the building and whatnot. And what happened was, one of my coworkers was like, "Oh, we should really like sort that into the Lego bins. We should really like break this down." And I was like, "Okay." So I put it into a box that had a bunch of other models that I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna break these down and sort them." And then later, the same coworker was like, "Hey, why is that model still out on the shelf?" And I was like, "No, it's not. I put it into the sorting box." And they were like, No. Why is it still out on the shelf? So apparently they're reproducing. I don't understand where 2 of these came from. Definitely only one of these belongs to me.
I'm like thoroughly creeped out right now.
Yeah. Some sort of like goat butting heads or something. They do have like horns.
It's kind of like a dance move a little bit.
So anyway, that's my Bionicle story.
So you still don't know to this day where that came from?
No clue. Couldn't tell you.
That is terrifying.
What did I do here? Oh, I was building a submodel. Other things.
Ooh, a Borak.
Is that like Sacha Baron Cohen?
It's a mixture between Sacha Baron Cohen and Brack from Space Ghost.
I can't do it. My Brack voice immediately starts to sound like Dr. Nick. Hello, everybody!
It's close enough. I always get Brack mixed up with Zorak. Zorak's the praying man.
Zorak just sounds like this.
Yeah, stuff you.
I missed that show. What else we got?
Barnacles?
Bionicle.
Sorry.
We just covered
I have poor vision.
It's okay, it's a very tiny font. I love the stop motion Lego book you made. Thank you. Do you have my book?
I do. You gave me a signed book last time I was here.
Then I'm doing my job.
You're a good friend.
Yes, and you was a good friend. Now don't say the wrong thing. What is that in reference to? I think I just said the wrong thing.
No, don't say the wrong thing. I try to live by those words. Thoughts on Back to the Future?
Thoughts on Back to the Future?
I think he might be referring to like there's going to be a remake soon, or
no, there's not.
I think I've been hearing rumors about it.
From what I recall, both Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis were like, "We're absolutely never doing this."
Maybe someone else is doing it.
No.
Maybe they bought the
Why?
rights.
Why is this? This is a thing that keeps happening, and I have questions about it. I think I saw. Actually, was it Brad Bird? Somebody on Twitter, I think it was Brad Bird, got asked recently, like, if you were going to remake a classic film, like, which one would it be? And I think his response was something along the lines of, why would I remake a classic film? Like, why wouldn't I just make a new classic? Like, that's like my goal. Which I agree with. Like, why did we need, like, a new Robocop? Like, the original Robocop is my favorite movie, and, like, the remake is just a boring, meaningless, like,
and the remake of Total Recall?
I did not even see the remake of Total Recall.
The remake of Judge Dredd, though, is pretty cool.
Well, see, I don't even consider that a remake. I consider that just, like, a different film
story, different chapter.
Judge Dredd. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because it's different when... If something is so intensely a film, like if they had made a film called We Can Remember It For You Wholesale or whatever, the original book or story that the Total Recall is based on, if they had done that, but they're
We Can Remember.
I think so.
Okay.
But the fact is they called it Total Recall because they're like, Total Recall is a thing, it's a name people know, it'll get butts into theater seats, let's just make that again. And that's so useless to me.
Yeah. It was pretty bad.
Especially because like the effects in that movie are so wonderful. Just like the height of because that movie's like 89 or 90, and it's just like the height of pre-digital. I think it has the first, or one of the first earliest digital effects, which is those skeletons in the X-ray.
The X-ray screen?
Yeah, it's not an airport, but it's like you're walking behind a screen.
It's like security.
Security, that's what I'm thinking.
Checkpoint thing, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the most rewatchable movies for me.
Oh, certainly.
Total Recall.
But I guess we got away from the question, which was actually thoughts on Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, so I saw something on the internet, which is so reliable, but I couldn't tell if it was like a fan-made thing or this is actually happening. But it was like Tom Holland as Marty.
What?
Yeah, Tom Holland as Marty and Bryan Cranston as Doc. Which
what?
I actually would. I don't want Back to the Future to be remade, but if that happened with Bryan Cranston as Doc, I'd probably sign up for that.
I'm not on board for this. I just want to make that clear.
It might have been just a total fan-made thing.
I do enjoy Bryan Cranston. I don't think that needs to be done. Especially given the last thing I saw Bryan Cranston in, which was the god-awful Power Rangers film from last year. Which,
yeah, that was sad.
Yes.
Really sad because, a huge cornerstone of our friendship is our abiding love for Power Rangers.
That's true. That's true.
Many a work day we would watch old episodes of Power Rangers on our lunch break.
I believe you once bought me it was one of the SH figure arts.
Oh.
I don't remember if it was the Green Ranger or Red Ranger.
I got you Red Ranger.
Yes, and then proceeded to, when I was out of the room, pose it really well on my shelf and then leave without commenting on it, as is your way.
That's my signature.
Yeah.
He meant don't say anything wrong about Solo. Don't say the wrong thing about Solo.
Oh, that's... What? I don't even know what that means.
I think he means the right thing to say is that it was great. And that's the only thing I should say.
What do you think about the new Dumbo reboot? I think I posted this I think I retweeted this with just the caption, "Why though?" Like it was just the trailer. Like no one needs a
Dumbo reboot. Are they doing like a semi-live action thing like Jungle Book?
Yes, and it's one of those things where it's like, oh, it's a live action Dumbo. It's not. It's
No,
not. It's a
it is.
digital.
It is a cartoon.
Yes.
Oh, cool. So
unnecessary, I guess, is how I feel about these things.
Am I almost up here? Is it my time to shine?
Yeah. Have you not been building?
No, I haven't been building anything.
Sorry, this was the whole point of us having two books.
No, the latter half of this video is going to be me building.
Got it, and I'll just sit here looking pretty. Okay.
Yeah, just flex your muscles like I've been doing for the past half hour.
I got one more thing to add to that.
Oh. Yeah, this is my moment to prove myself to the Lego kids out there.
There you go. All right, yeah. Now I'll just sit here. Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis said as long as they are alive, there is not going to be a reboot, remakes, or special edition of Back to the Future.
Good.
It. Yep. Now please, everyone, keep the health of both of those men in your hearts, regardless of it. So how's this going?
Made a lot of progress since you handed it off to me.
King of the Beasts says, I'm a producer for video games. How much would you guys charge to make animated cutscenes with those type things?
Stop motion?
I don't know what those type things means, but...
Maybe he means these type things, meaning Legos.
Oh, yeah. Send us a email. Use the contact page at Paganomation.com, and we will get right on back to you. Mm-hmm.
Do you find that a lot of producers ask, I want this animated. What's the next step after that for you when someone says, hey, I'd like to have this thing animated. I'm interested in potentially contracting you.
Sure.
What's the next step for you after that?
So it depends on a couple of things, because sometimes we will get people who have a very clear idea of what they want, mm-hmm. and they'll be like, hey, we want to hire you to do this, this, and this. This is the timeline. And often those are the projects that work out the best because it's people who not only have a clear idea of what they want, but they understand what animation is and
how long it takes, how expensive it is.
Exactly right. Yeah. So
I love working with those kind of people.
Usually in that case, I will give 3 different options where it's like I'll give one option that's like the most expensive, most like extravagant thing we could possibly do. I'll do one thing that's like the budget version of that, and then I'll do one option that's like kind of a Goldilocks principle halfway point between those two, and then use that as a way to drive the conversation forward so that they get an idea of what our workflow is like, what our costs and all that kind of stuff is like. So that's like best case scenario. Worst case scenario is where we get people who email us and say, I don't know
what I want. How much does it cost?
You got it. Yeah. Did we talk about that back in the day?
Yeah, no,
that was already a thing.
I got that line from you.
Yes. I don't know what I want. How much would that cost is something we get constantly.
It's a recurring joke.
Yes. Kind of. And well, it's a joke, but it really happens. People don't know. All they know is like they've seen animation somewhere and they're like, yeah, maybe that thing.
Ooh, animation, that's cool.
But there's no like concept. There's no.
You can crank that out in like
an
hour, right?
I mean, my nephew has Adobe Premiere, so he said it was pretty easy. So those are kind of the two extremes, and then in between, there's people who are like, they'll work with us. They'll be like, hey, I kind of have this idea, but I haven't developed it yet, and we'll kind of work with them to figure out like what the most appropriate course to take is in terms of like what their budget is and what their timeline is. Do they need it next week or do they need it 3 years from now? That kind of a thing. Did that answer your question?
Totally.
Okay.
Would you say the biggest question after like, hey, I want to contract you would be like, what's your budget looking like? Like budget and time frame. Those are the most important things.
Are those the things that I ask?
Would you say that that's the most important thing to discuss next is like, what's your budget?
Time frame, budget, and also the thing that I always ask is, what are we responsible for? Because sometimes
that's a great question.
Sometimes we're just being contracted to do animation. Sometimes we're being contracted to do animation and editing and sound design and storyboard. So it's like which phases of production are we responsible for? Sometimes people already have writers, so we don't need to write things.
Sometimes they have a storyboarder on board.
Exactly right. Yeah. We've done stuff where I think on some of the superhero shorts, you actually took storyboards that had already been done, and because we were getting notes from Lego and notes from Warner Brothers or Marvel or whoever, because I don't know were they owned by Disney at that point? I don't think they were.
At that point, I don't think so.
Or maybe it had just happened. But you actually would reboard some of the boards that existed to get these new notes and ideas across so that people could approve them before we did the serious animation.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. I love storyboarding.
Yeah.
You know me. I'll jump at any chance where I get to draw.
Trying to think. Well, and that's why, one of the reasons I like working with other people, apart from just like the fun of collaborating with folks I like, is getting to work with people who are good at things that I'm terrible at. And I'm not, by my own admission, I'm not the best at drawing. So the fact that you're so good at it makes working with you a pleasure, because then I feel like
thanks.
It makes the final product. I always.
Are you saying we complete each other?
I'm not saying that. I always struggle with, because we are so known as like a studio that does stuff with Lego, there's always this temptation to kind of start from Lego and be like, oh, okay, well, we know we can make a building, we know we can make like this kind of train or something. Whereas I always kind of prefer to start from like a neat idea or like a crazy concept and then figure out, okay, how can we then do that in Lego? So having the ability to like draw things, like those clouds that you did for the Harry Potter Red Brick video.
Oh, yeah.
If we had sat down and said, okay, what kind of clouds are easy to make with Lego, we would have made clouds that look totally different. But because we were like, oh, just draw like really cool looking clouds and we'll figure out a way to make them, it made it like more, it was more unique and it stood out in a way that I don't think we would have otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. But you, like, contrary to my skill set, you have this ability to you basically draw with Legos. Like you can just build build ahead, and
that's actually a great way of putting that.
Just you can ideate things.
Sure.
Is that a word?
It is now.
You can ideate things just by building, like sculpture, basically.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, wait, I need to draft it before I dive into building something.
That's going to need these shortly.
Yes.
The thing I get asked a lot, like why is Lego your medium of choice? And the answer that I always give is that it's the most direct way to get whatever is in my brain out into the physical world. For some reason, I tried drawing as a kid, and I never had the same passion to get better at it. But with Lego, I was always like, oh, there's something that draws me in here, and it's a way of like putting components together and making shapes, and especially with like the way I do like the little guys' characters. Like it's definitely like I love finding weird parts and being like, okay, this dinosaur tail is now going to be somebody's eyebrow, just because that's like, I think that's fun to sort of experiment in that way. Yeah. You'll see it soon, guys.
That is really cool.
Let's see what we got here. Looking back at it now, what do you think of cool creations with Flappy? You also did not work on Flappy, right?
No, but I did the Flappy voice a lot.
You did. Oh, and there's did you draw Flappy on the whiteboard?
Yeah, I think I did.
So I'm going to say like 6 or 7 years ago, we had a whiteboard on the door to the old studio, and Mick drew a picture of Flappy that has been there for so long, because the whiteboard is now outside.
Is it still on there?
It is still on there.
What?
Yeah, I should just go grab it.
Yeah.
That's a better
visual. I'm so honored that you kept that.
I'll keep the magnets away from my computer, but this is a whiteboard that's been sitting outside the...
Oh, Peter Griffin's still on there too?
Yeah, holding a Lego brick.
Yes.
And I believe Pepe was drawn by our friend Jeff. Who,
wait, let me see it again. Oh wait, yes, I did draw that and then someone colored it in.
Ah, it might have been me.
Well, I made him vomiting because he would always make that noise.
Yeah, he would spit out the mail to entertain viewers, and
I always thought that sound effect he made sounded like he was about to throw up.
I mean, he was.
Oh,
that's exactly what it was.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
that's
yeah, I have only fond memories of Flappy. It was cool to do something that was kind of a brick film, but kind of not, because Flappy was he was built physically, but then we digitally photographed him and manipulated him in After Effects. And it was nice
Wasp.
It's nice to do something that was a little bit different. It was also really easy to bring other people on board to work on Flappy, because being digital, we weren't restricted by the fact that we had to be in a physical location moving stuff around. I could just send Photoshop files to someone and they could animate him and do crazy stuff without the limitations of stop motion.
Is that... Okay, I've never seen these kind of pieces before.
Oh, they are the roller skates.
Oh, that's cool. Do you think this vehicle will show up in the movie?
Ideally. I mean, I don't see much...
Or do you think it's one of those equivalents to like Spider-Man's motorcycle action figure that you would never ever see?
Wait, I don't get this reference.
Well, there's always like... I'm using that as an example.
Oh, just like a very... Like the Hulk's car?
Yeah.
Like, and why would the Hulk need a car?
Yeah, like Wolverine's truck or something. Like something you would never... With like claws that come out of the side of it.
Sure, yeah.
Something you would
that just makes me think of like... was it a Tac Pack? Or what was that? There was that motorized car when we were kids where... Was it... Oh, The Animal? Was that it?
The Animal? Like, the movie with Rob Schneider?
No. There was a... It was a toy truck that was motorized, and if you pressed a button or did something, like claws would come out of the tires, like 3 claws, and would kind of like climb its way up a hill or something. I don't know.
Is this an 80s toy? Or
possibly.
Okay. So I have a question.
Yes.
What is our main audience here? Is it younger Lego builders, people our age?
Great question. Based on the YouTube analytics, I don't know if this is true for live streaming specifically, but it is true for our videos in general. Our audience is primarily between the ages of like 17, 18, and I think late 40s.
Oh.
And male skews younger and female skews older.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what this means yet, but it is something that I pay reasonably close attention to, mostly at the suggestion of my friend Dave Pickett, who is far more versed in the world of YouTube than I am.
Okay, I missed something. See, I also tried to not follow the directions because
me?
I thought I had it all figured out.
Yeah, no, it's tempting because you're like you get into a groove or a rhythm and then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what else?
Because I asked because I don't want to make a bunch of '80s references and a bunch of like teenagers at home are gonna be like, what?
I mean, listen, they have the internet machine. They can look up anything.
Yeah.
Plus, I'll make show notes later that have references to some stuff.
Oh, great! That's really.
We're not going to explain everything though. Someone asks, did he just call them Legos? Yep.
Is there something wrong with that?
If you follow the Lego Fair Play web page, they prefer you to use Lego as a modifier instead of as a noun. So like Lego bricks, Lego toys, that kind of thing.
Whoa!
But it's so commonly colloquially used as Legos that
yeah. Are you offended when I say Legos?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, I say it myself all the time. I say Legos in an interview for the Lego company, and they didn't cut it out. So.
And you didn't get stoned for it? Like,
oh, you mean like
people throwing stones at you?
No,
not
I got it, in no sense of the word did I get stoned for it.
Good.
When is the next episode of How About We Animate That? Great question.
Good question.
So our release schedule for How About We Animate That is every other Friday. Now, technically, that means we should have an episode today. However, because you were in town, and this is like a very limited engagement, your appearance in the tri-state area, I was like, well, we have to do a chat and build because you're cool and I like hanging out with you.
Aw, mutual friend.
That being said, you can see the next episode of How About We Animate That, which will now come out next Friday. But if you want to watch it right now, you can sign up at our Patreon page where the early achiever tier has that episode already released as of I think last night. So if you're chomping at the bit to see the next episode, you can go check it out there. Otherwise, it'll be out next week.
Great.
Which is good because I will be at Bricks by the Bay in San Francisco next week.
Excellent.
So we'll both be back in California.
Bay to bricks? Bricks to breakers?
Too many weirdos. No, Bricks by the Bay is a Lego fan event at the Santa Clara Convention Center.
Cool.
Yeah.
When are you? Well, sorry, I missed that. When are you going to be in California?
I will be there from Thursday to Monday. Because the aforementioned Dave Pickett, my co-author on the Lego animation book, is giving the keynote address at the event. So go in there to support and hang out with him and talk to other brick filmers who may be in attendance because I just remembered the theme of the event is animation. So,
wait, you're going to be there next Thursday?
12th to 16th I come back.
16th. Yeah. Okay. I'm flying back to California on the 11th. So maybe I could drive 4 hours down and see you.
You're more than welcome. We'll be happy to have you. You can crash in our hotel, and I don't know what else is happening.
Stuff is happening. Okay. Guys, I'm not usually this slow of a builder, just so you know.
It's okay. We don't have a schedule or anything. I feel like I should be doing something. Actually, you know what I wanted to do? And maybe I can sneak behind you and
You're just eye candy.
That's true. I wanted to find, because I thought they might come with this set, but they didn't. I want to find wigs for Ant-Man and the Wasp. Because,
wigs?
Well, you can take their helmets off and they're just bald heads.
Oh, okay. Yeah, try to find the most appropriate hairdo for them.
Exactly. I realize I should probably still chat with you as you build, even though I'm off screen.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'm like in the zone here, so I don't mean to ignore you guys out there in the YouTube verse. Now keep in mind, Wasp does not have that lampshade haircut in this movie.
The bob.
Yeah. I call it the lampshade haircut. I think she has like pulled back into a ponytail.
Paint on her overalls.
What?
It's not another teen movie reference. Hair's in a ponytail. Alright, let's see. This is a. I'm looking at a bin that is all wigs, or a tackle box rather.
I gotta build 2 of these. I'm outraged.
Wait, why?
I gotta go build another one of these things.
Oh, what? Oh, it just said 2x at the end of it. Nice. I love that they always put that at the end.
Yeah, I kind of wish I knew that before I built it, because I would build them both. Does
that seem appropriate?
Yeah. Do you have any? He kind of has more spiked up hair, like messy spiked up hair.
Yeah, I got you.
Trying to think of what minifig.
There's a wig I'm thinking of, but I don't know if I have it in black.
He has brown hair.
Does he have brown hair?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have it in brown either.
I'm picturing it in my head of what that hair looks like.
Yeah. No, that's more like a... Maybe more like this.
Even light brown could work.
How about that?
Yeah, that's a little better. Looks like my haircut right now.
A little bit, yeah. This is Superman's hair, actually.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
Superhero.
And then the Wasp. Oh, she's got cute expressions. Wait, I think this is a face from another character, but I can't think of who.
Hermione?
No. Actually, maybe. I might have to look this up.
That angry face looks like Hermione.
Does that seem appropriate?
Yeah.
They don't make this wig anymore, but...
I'd say.
There you go.
What is he saying? Hey, no, I can't stay for much longer.
Lego Brick Productions says, hey, so I can't stay for much longer, so I will say goodbye and I'll see you later. Have a good one.
It's been great having you. It's such a courteous thing to do as a guest, to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Instead of ghosting. Oh, ghosting! Pun.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Bye. I'll leave. No, I'll go.
What do you think of Galidor? Do you know about Galidor?
Oh, it's old school, right? Old school,
It's
space.
It's old school-ish. Stuff. It's not quite space. So in the early mid-2000s-ish, Lego tried to make a TV show which had kind of the predecessors to what is now known as construction figures. And it is, I think, one of, if not the worst performing themes of all time, because the parts were so specifically molded to be exactly what they are that I think people were not happy. Although now in the Lego fan community there's like wonderful uses of all the Galidor parts. And actually I'm planning to do a Galidor episode of How About We Animate That coming soon.
Ooh,
so
very cool.
Stay tuned.
So you're saying the pieces for Galidor were not usable for other things?
You know, I wish I knew where... Because I
versatile.
have... So I bought all the Galidor figures. I think I'm missing maybe 2 of them for $1 each, because when that show tanked, they were just like, let's get all this product out of here. So I have them here somewhere, because, you know, actually buying those figures was one of the first things that kind of... It was the first inkling of kind of what led to How About We Animate That, where I saw those at the store, and I literally went, oh, I wonder if I could animate those. And so soon we will find the answer. Which, spoiler alert, is probably yes. I mean, I feel like you can basically animate anything.
Yeah, at this point you can.
Yeah.
I feel like I did something wrong.
As long as you don't say a wrong thing about Solo.
Don't say the wrong thing about Solo. Okay. Dang, I hate that when I have to backtrack.
A bit. What do you think about them going from full bricks made in water in the Lego movie to realistic water in Lego Batman? Okay, so what they're asking is, in the Lego movie, there's like water scenes where it's like bricks that are kind of like undulating or like built pieces, whereas in Lego Batman, there's like actual like physical human world water.
Interesting change.
Yeah, I mean, I wish there was a in-universe reason for it, because it does seem kind of arbitrary. I don't really have faith that there's like going to be some like third act reveal in like the Lego Movie 3 5 years from now that explains it. Not that it necessarily needs to be explained, but it's just, it does seem without like a story reason, it seems like, oh, they just didn't want to like put in the effort of making brick water again. Like they're just like, oh, we'll make it. It's fine. No one will notice. Because that starts to move back towards the much maligned Clutch Powers, which I always talk about, which is a terrible, terrible Lego film.
Clutch Powers? I like the name, though.
The name is literally the only thing that movie has going for it, and it's kind of the Lego movie before the Lego movie happened. Like, it came out in 2010, it was direct to DVD, and it is just the worst. It is like, I've never sat so stone-faced looking at something that was ostensibly a comedy for children. Just very much just like
that emoji that
like
you
like the flat mouth emoji that I use
a
constantly
line.
in conversation. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't have like extremely strong feelings one way or the other. I like the brick water because I think that's neat. And actually, my guest on the Lego Godzilla episode of How About We Animate That, Chris Gerhardt, or Christopher, I should say, he has done some interesting stuff with like digital Lego bricks and using that to do animation. So maybe I can find some of those things and
cannons are going
link to them.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh,
I'm just excited about putting
it's like a ball joint thing?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very posable cannons here.
I always like when they use barrels as like
Turbines.
turbines, yeah.
Yeah. Is it a turbine or is it a thruster or
Something.
Lego kids will know. And when I say Lego kids, I mean kids of all ages.
From 0 to 99?
Yeah. I'm a kid. I never grew up. I never grew out of toys.
You are a place that's toys. That's another running joke that we have, which is someone once put a comment on one of our video asking, quote, are you guys a place that's toys? And I don't remember if we replied. If we did reply, it was just like, yeah.
It's award-winning grammar right there.
We are a place that's toys. For those of you just joining us at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time, we're building the Ant-Man and the Wasp set, Quantum Realm Explorers.
Exploradores del Reino Quantico.
You got it. And it's looking good.
It never gets old.
You said that in like the deep voice that would kind of be like dubbing over
like a Spanish.
Like if it was like an English or some other language commercial that aired in like a Spanish-speaking country, like that's the voiceover that would like kind of dub over it.
I watched Star Wars on a Spanish channel once, and it was like, Los Guerras Estrellas, La Amenaza Fantasma, Episodio 1.
I mean, that sounds wonderful.
I love speaking in that voice. It's just really fun. What's wrong here?
What happened?
Okay, this dome looks like it's supposed to be angled much... Okay, maybe you can figure this out. But
I see what you're saying.
it looks like it's supposed to be angled down. Oh wait, I forgot to put these things on.
There's like arms, yeah.
That's why. Figuring things out with Lego. Products. I didn't say Legos.
It's fine. So we, like you were saying earlier, we worked on Red Brick and that had like a bunch of themes, Star Wars and Harry Potter and Pirates. Is there like a Lego theme or even any other license that you've never worked with before but you would love to in the future?
Yeah, well, we did. Did we do Avengers? Yeah, we did Avengers. We did.
We did Iron Man and
Spider-Man. Yeah, I would love to do Avengers, or I like those X-Men sets a lot. Like with the Sentinel and
the Sentinel would have been fun to animate.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, X-Men's one of my all-time favorites.
Sure, so I gathered.
or like Batman in his Rogues Gallery. But we did like a Batman.
We did a very abridged Batman. I think that was like one of the shortest videos we ever did. It's like 3 shots, I think.
So he's climbing up the building, and then Alfred feeds him a roast chicken.
I don't know why I'm laughing. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've heard it described so succinctly.
Cool. There's just a few finishing touches here. We're done.
Sweet.
Where does this go?
What's that? Oh, I believe it goes in. So these are like little.
Oh, those are
they
the
call them,
bullets.
like stud shooters or something.
Mm-hmm.
But they just get kind of shoved in there.
Cool.
I will say, criticisms of the minifigure helmets notwithstanding, the set kind of does make me want to see this movie.
Yeah.
Usually it's the opposite, where I'll see a movie and I will immediately want to, buy a toy of it, which was the case with, what was the last thing I did? Oh, I saw Rogue One and then immediately bought the K2SO Alan Tudyk robot.
Nice.
Because I was like, well, this is something I need. That'd be fun to animate too.
Is that like a bigger jointed figure?
Yeah, it's like those construction kind of figures that I was mentioning earlier.
Every time you say construction, I just think of like Lego pregnancy. Like that's what would happen. What did you say, construction?
I can't beat that joke. I can't follow it.
All right, just fixing these little roller skates on top. These are just extra pieces, right? Did we miss this one?
Yeah, no, there's a whole bunch of side stuff here, I think.
Oh, how did we miss that?
I'm just gonna guess and say this goes here.
I really missed that.
Now keep going.
Oh yeah, there it is. It's one page, guys. Everyone just relax. Yeah.
There we go.
All right. You got extra helmets?
No, those are the actual helmets because
Oh,
I wigged them. Remember?
Right, you wigged them. Don't wig out on me. Maybe let's get these out of the way for a second.
I didn't even know if they were on screen.
I'm convinced that these things are actually alive when you turn the lights off.
In like a
Toy Story kind of way. Yeah.
Not the Christmas toy. Have you ever seen the Christmas toy?
Is that the one with Richard Pryor?
No, the Christmas toy is like
that's the toy.
No, you're thinking of Toys with Robin Williams. No, I'm kidding.
How many toy movies are there?
So Christmas Toy is a Jim Henson film from like the late 80s, and it's basically Toy Story. Like there's all these like Christmas toys, and when I don't remember if it's when people are in the room or when the lights go out, like they come to life. But it's like a much darker version of like that because there's some kind of consequences if they're like caught that I don't remember. I only saw it once.
Oh man.
Anyway, that's a Christmas toy.
I just saw someone's tweet and I forget who it was, so I can't give him credit, but it was like, my daughter just ruined Toy Story for me because she said if one of Andy's toys died, he would never know, but he would just be playing with their dead corpse for years and years. That was pretty dark.
How would they die?
If I don't know, if Buzz had a heart attack or something.
How would that work?
I don't know.
Well, I do like how he sits in the cockpit of this.
Yeah.
Thing. Is this the?
Hey, you get away from him.
we just made the thumbnail for this video.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I shoot this at you? Whoa. Okay, that went flying.
Well, on that note, I think we have both chatted and built.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything you would like to plug before we wrap up here?
I'm going to post a few links in the comments.
The description.
The description. Yeah.
Or the comments, wherever.
Yeah, in the description.
As long as you don't say Legos anymore.
I know.
People will be very upset.
Such a big faux pas.
We're going to get a cease and desist from, I don't know, somebody.
From Lego fans.
Yeah.
No, just my demo reel, animation demo reel, is on Vimeo, and I have a website with some. I really love to do fan art, and so my website has my portfolio, my illustration portfolio, and I have an Instagram account called MB Illustration, and yeah, I'd love it if you guys check that out.
Cool. You know where to find me. Yeah, I got nothing else.
Thanks for having me, dude. This was really fun.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for joining me on such short notice, taking some time while you're in town.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you for the next one. Oh, also, Bricks by the Bay next week. Come find me and ask me things. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
This is where I click the ending.